KTSM 9 News Now starts right now.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for choosing 9 News Now. I'm Estela Casas. The fastest-growing transnational criminal organization known as the TREN de Aragua has arrived at the border.
There you go, right there. So now, again, Democrat talking points. Democrats say that these are overblown talking points, misconstrued talking points. None of this stuff is true. And again, here we are with the local news literally saying this very exact thing. Local news. This isn't Washington Post. This isn't the New York Post. This isn't Fox News. This isn't NBC. Local news station. Do you guys notice that most of my content relies is I don't really use too much CNN. I don't use too much. I do use Fox when it comes to talking about the migrant crisis, but that's because they are really like one of the only ones besides them and Newsmax that talk about it. But aside from that, everything else is local news. If it's not true, why are they talking about it on the local news? This is local news. This is a local news station. News 9, NBC, KTSM.
KTSM 9 News reporter Oriana Potaro tells us about this gang from Venezuela and how it's threatening safety to borderland families. It's a story you'll see only on KTSM.
The U.S. Border Patrol said it detained 38 suspected TREN de Aragua members between October of 2022 and October of 2023, some right here in the El Paso border, according to a report by CNN. KTSM spoke with Agent Britton Boyd to see how they are posing a threat to our community here and nationally. He said the people associated with the TREN de Aragua arrived mixed with regular migrants, making it difficult to sort.
Did you guys hear that? The people, what did I say about these people that are running for the border to escape criminal charges? What did I told people? I said, if you commit a crime and the government, the U.S. Marshals and all them is looking for you, what are you going to do? You're going to try to escape to Mexico or Canada so you can get out of the jurisdiction. These are jurisdiction escapees. These are jurisdiction escapees. Would you guys agree? If you guys disagree, then give me a thumbs down. These people probably pay a higher price in order for the cartels to mix them into these groups of legit asylum seekers, and they pass right through blending in. If you guys would agree with that, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down.
Spoke with Agent Britton Boyd to see how they are posing a threat to our community here and nationally. He said the people associated with the TREN de Aragua arrived mixed with regular migrants, making it difficult to sort them out as they arrive into the United States.
When they come to a new place, they do it oftentimes through immigrant pathways, taking advantage of people from within their own community. TREN de Aragua gang members who are identified are put into prosecution pathways for 1325 illegal entry into the United States.
And the reason why this is such a big issue for El Paso residents is our location on the border, a de facto hub for Venezuelan migration. I also spoke to former Texas Border Patrol agent Amon Blair, who says the TREN de Aragua uses extortion to fund their organization, going to local migrant-owned businesses and extorting money from them. He was very concerned with how little is known about this criminal organization in the.
So now these people go directly to migrant communities and extort their own businesses, but nobody says we in the migrant community need to deal with this. This is a bad look on us in the migrant community. We're robbing our own communities. Nobody says that. They don't even frame it like that in the mainstream media. But as you guys can see, they specifically go to their own communities to rob and pillage. They specifically do that. Now, you don't have any Hispanic people coming out saying that these Venezuelan gang members are a bad look on the Hispanic community. You don't see, nobody's doing that. Are they doing that? Are any American Venezuelans being accountable for the imported Venezuelan crime wave? So now nobody's putting a gun to their head to do that, and they're not doing it. Just like nobody puts a gun to these people that go and do that on their own free will. when they talk about black people. So my question is, why is it that these people don't do that? And why is it that the black people that get in front of a microphone, the first thing that they do is roll on black people? Why do black people do that? Any Latino person that's an American citizen, they never get in front of a microphone and say that kind of stuff. So my question is, why is it that the people who, even people that are not Democrat shills, people that just come from the community in Chicago, in New York, anywhere, when they give them a microphone, why do they say such ignorant shit talking about black people? And why don't anybody roast them people to a crisp about it? Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. What's good with it, Brooklyn Queen? Why do people act like they don't see that? Let me ask you guys this question. If you give the microphone to random people in the hood, say for instance, you go to some hood in Chicago and you give a person a microphone and they start talking crazy about black people and they're black, who are they bought and paid by if they don't have, if they're somebody that we don't know? So now, why don't those people get held accountable? That's my question. If people don't start holding those people accountable, they're going to continue to act like that. They're going to continue to behave like that. Let me ask you guys this question. Are the people that produced people who do that, do they share accountability with that? Who created the mind state to where it's every time you get a microphone in front of your face, you say something crazy about black people, whether it's for free or any amount of money? Who facilitated that? Who made that okay? Who made that the flex? Who made that the move? And then when we see them doing it, instead of them getting rode on, they get excuses made for them. Who made that the flex to behave like? And who made that the flex to make excuses for these clowns? All these people that get in front of the microphone are not getting bankrolled. They're just dumb. Why don't anybody get held for their lack of intelligence and their stupidity? If you're stupid, you're stupid. And people need to start eradicating stupidity. Would you guys agree? Shout out to Dub 3000 for becoming a member. I appreciate it. Make sure you guys show Dub 3000 some love. We're moving towards 200 members. Shout out to Dubs. Make sure y'all show him some love. Throw some radiation emoji in the chat. Throw some membership emoji in the chat. Welcome him to the green team. Shout out to Dubs. That's the question. Where is people's automatic defense system? Why do you have to fight all the stuff that other people say about us? And then we got to fight stuff that many people who are part of our collective decide to just say as if they don't have any control, which I don't understand why they would be inspired to say such degenerate nonsense anyway. I don't know how most people were trained, but I've been trained to always project myself in the best possible light. And then people would turn and say that I'm cocky. I don't care if you say that I'm cocky. Do you disagree? If I'm telling you that I'm dope, and you know damn well I'm dope, but then you want to turn around and say that I'm cocky, I don't care if you say that I'm cocky. I'm dope, and you know it. So why is it that everybody starts doing this weird form of self-deprecating buck dance, and nobody holds anybody accountable for that? Who's supposed to hold people accountable for that nonsense? Shout out to Carlton Way. I think we may be entering off-code media hour. Facts, because the off-code stuff of going in on these people who go in front of microphones and doing that to black people, because That's off. That's off code. You're not supposed to be up here talking about people like that. Shout out to Carlton. Know what I'm talking about. The shit that people be sitting up there saying that you're doing or that you're saying is off code. That's actually the real shit that's actually on code. Do you notice that literally most people don't have rants about how everyday people get in front of a microphone and say insane stuff? That's off code. You're not supposed to be sitting up here talking about people like that, right? But then at the same time, everybody gets pissed when they sit there and see somebody talking like that. How are they supposed to stop talking like that? How are they supposed to stop talking about it? No, you shut your ass up, Rob. You leave these Negroes alone. You sitting up there being off code. I'm sitting up here being off code. I sit here and tell people all the time how we can do all kind of crazy, amazing shit and easily shut problems down that we have. But I'm off code. Begging for stuff from people that don't want you to prosper is on code. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I think that one of the reasons why there's been a lot of subduing of progress is because there's been so many people trying to make nonsensical things that have been beat into them. They try to make it make sense. It doesn't make any sense. If it doesn't make any sense, feel free to just say it doesn't make any sense. Liberate yourself from the insanity of nonsense, old school, outdated, twisted, nonsensical talking points that have got us where we are. We are looking at the undocumented bros talking about migration, talking about illegal immigration, talking about illegal border crossing. If the border crisis ends tomorrow, do we still face the same threats? That's my question to everybody in here. Do we still face the same threats? Shout out to Dub 3000 with the $10 super chat. Make sure y'all show him some love. Throw some flames, radiation emoji in the chat. He says, Black Light Revelations, the whole idea of sanctuary cities and acting like it does not harbor crime is dishonest. I have the source if you want me to post about it. Yeah, go right ahead, bro. Post about it. I don't know if you're in the Discord, but it's probably easier if you post it into the Discord because I think only people with wrenches are able to post active links into the chat. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's absolutely what. So think about think of what sanctuary is. You know what I'm saying? The entire word sanctuary. You know what I mean? Shout out to Hurricane IQ. Make sure y'all show Hurricane IQ with the some love with the $9.99 super chat. Definitely appreciate it, bro. Make sure y'all throw some radiation emojis, some flames in the chat for him. He said, I knew I wasn't the only one that felt that way. No, you're not, bro. There's a lot more people that feel the way that we feel that don't say anything because they're scared of WS. They're scared of being shouted down. They're scared of being rejected by their family. Stop being scared. You cannot live life scared. Living life scared is not sustainable. Living life being scared is not sustainable. You know what I'm saying? Let me add, look, people sit up here and say the white media will get the most ignorant black people to talk about some stuff. If I had a media apparatus, I would get the most ignorant non-black people to come up there and talk about stuff and say, see, even they said it. I'll do the same thing. I'll do the same thing. And I wouldn't do the same thing because I have an issue with them people. I'm doing the same thing to even the score because they've been doing it to us forever to the point that people think that they could just come up to us and disrespect us because they think that we have a baseline low IQ. Somebody got to hit back. Somebody got a counterpunch. You know what I'm saying? So we ask a lot of questions that this is where we went to yesterday. We ask a lot of questions that we got to ask ourselves, do we believe what we're saying? WS is in the business of disinformation. Why are we expecting them to accurately report? They're in the business of confusion. Why are we expecting them to provide straight answers and not double talk? Why do we sit there and say that they don't do their job when they actually do their job to perfection? Their job is to make us look as bad as they possibly can, to keep people as confused as they possibly can, and to misconstrue information so badly that you will not be able to figure your way out of a wet paper bag. That is exactly what they do every day. They get a 10 out of 10 for doing their job. People complain about the United States and the ongoing effort to keep black people as a quote unquote designated bottom class. Isn't that what they're supposed to be doing? Isn't that what they were set up to do? So if in one hand we believe what we say, then what we're seeing is the United States doing what it was built to do. So then what I don't understand, do people get upset when they get stung by a bee? No. Everybody knows that a bee has a stinger. It's supposed to sting you if you get within a certain range of it. So why are people having these diametric conflicts when observing the environment? It doesn't make any sense. That's what doesn't make sense. A lot of the environment makes absolute sense. The world is correct. Everything makes sense if you're thinking properly and observing everything properly. It's the thought processes where people process information incorrectly and confuse themselves. So I got to keep asking the question, why are people purposely confusing themselves? It's either one thing or the other. We don't have no power, yet we need to boycott. Wait a minute. So we do got economic power to where a boycott will make a difference, but we don't have no power. We don't have no power, but we need to sit out and not vote to make a statement. Which one is it? If we don't have no power, we need to work on getting power. If we do have power, we need to start exercising the power. But it's not both at the same time. It cannot be both at the same time. This is a world that is based on rules and variables, and it cannot be both at the same time. It cannot be on fire and frozen at the same time. Know what I'm saying? So we got to figure this stuff out. And there's a lot of people that will benefit from you all not figuring your destiny out. There's a lot of people that benefit from them. I'm not one of them. You know what I'm saying? But there are people out there that are invested and people never figuring out their destiny. You know what I'm saying?
The United States. Agent Amon Blair said that with the infiltration of the gang in the United States, there will most likely be an increase in crimes like human smuggling and sex trafficking. What is even more concerning is how hard it's been for local enforcement to track down gang members, mostly due to the fact that there's very little criminal records.
Why is there no criminal records? Because they're undocumented. These are self-induced problems. These are self-induced problems, y'all. Let me ask you guys a question. Do y'all think that it's painful for people to say positive stuff about themselves? Is it painful? Does it hurt? Does it like fry people's circuitry because they're not used to it? I've seen people get called arrogant that are not arrogant. I always got told that I was arrogant when I was growing up. And I told people, you can call me whatever you want to. If you want to call me arrogant, then I'll be arrogant. I'm not going to fester in the self-deprecating sewer that makes up your mind state. So if you can only think of negative shit to say about you, yourself, your community, or people, your family, or anything, continue to float around in that toilet bowl. It's not my responsibility or anybody else's responsibility to pull you out of it and stop you from going down a drain. You need to go down the drain. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Val. Make sure you guys show Val some love. Please throw some radiation emoji in the chat. Show her some love. Throw some flames in the comment section for her. Definitely appreciate you, Val. Don't even worry. If you never got, I appreciate you being here. You know what I'm saying? Would you guys agree? Do you guys notice this? Anytime any of these people, if you compare situations, no other, like the politicians, nobody else do that. Well, we need to do this. We need to do, here's the question. What do Latino people need to do to deal with some of these migrants? They speak the same language. They're culturally similar to them. Do something about this stuff. They literally sit there and tell a random black person that we need to deal with black on black crime. We need to deal with single parent households. Deal with this shit. We don't speak the language. We don't know the customs. We don't know the culture. Literally nobody's saying any of that. Why do you guys think that is? I seriously don't know the culture. These people do know the culture. You know what I mean? Black people critique each other more than anybody else. And there's nothing wrong with critiquing. But at some point, people need to stop with the critique and tell everybody else it's you degenerate motherfuckers' turns to critique yourself and all of your downfalls. Because it's not us doing everything. We critique ourselves to make ourselves better for each other. You motherfuckers are tearing up the entire world. Deal with yourselves. Deal with all of the fucking missiles and shit that you guys got going on over there in Europe between Russia and Ukraine. Deal with this migrant crisis. Deal with this self-created opiate epidemic that actually started because all they do is give white people top-tier pain medication and give everybody else ibuprofen. Deal with it. Deal with your creation. Why can't people say that? Everybody want to turn around and tell us to deal with something. Deal with this. They even try to put this on us, talk about Democrat voters. These are bipartisan efforts. Shout out to Edward Berry with the $9.99 super chat. Make sure you guys show him some love. Throw some radiation emoji in the chat for him. Edward Berry says we must continue to reveal the shills who disrupt our internal politics. This is why black media is so important. Facts, because the whole purpose of W media is to absolutely disrupt the internal politics. W media is one of the reasons why people speak so shamefully when they go someplace. Watch a news article or something like that. The first thing they say, we need to clean up our neighborhoods. Do we? How come in white neighborhood? How come when they have an issue go on in a white neighborhood, the first thing they don't say, well, we need to make sure that little Timmy's not sawing his mom's head off? How come they don't say that? How come nobody says Britney Spears is a stain on the W community. How come nobody say that? How come nobody says W people need to do better? Look at people like Jeffrey Dahmer. Are you serious? All the W people that need to do better end up doing better because they get a Netflix special made about them. The hell out of here. The first line of defense gotta be us. The first line of defense gotta be us. I'll be the first person to tell somebody I feel safe living in the hood because I know that my children are not gonna point guns in my faces. Now, how you feel about that? How do you feel about that? I know that I'm not going to die by the hand of my own children. Can't say that for them people in the suburbs. Because people in the suburbs, kids taking them out every day. Kids taking them out in the suburbs every day, B. Check them familicide statistics. Shout out to Win Loser Rug. Facts. Win Loser Rug said, nah, the first thing they say is this is a good neighborhood. It's a good neighborhood while somebody got their dad's head in a plastic bag. You know what I'm saying? This is such a good neighborhood that there's a father's head in a plastic bag. While literally we sit there and show videos of heinous crimes committed in the suburbs all the time. Familicides either by a son, familicides either by a husband, or a school shooting. Literally, anytime you interview one of these people that live in the hood or something like that, because the hood don't necessarily mean you live in the ghetto, first of all, right? If you live in the hood, that's not necessarily the ghetto. The hood is your neighborhood. There's a difference between the ghetto, then there's the projects, you know what I'm saying? Metropolitan Housing Authority, subsidized housing, all of those things are different. The hood don't imply that you live in a bad area. They'll sit there and tell you that the kid's still a good kid after they delete a whole bunch of black people. Look at how they cape for Peyton Gendron and how they cape for old boy down there in Jacksonville, Florida. He was such a good kid. I bet you he's such a good kid. He doing all them Confederate values, deleting all them black people like that. That's what they consider a good kid. Who'd you get rid of? Who'd you delete? Oh, you deleted a bunch of black people? Good job, Timmy. I'll make sure that your JPay stay full. So now we got to ask ourselves the question, why is it that reflexively, like, the only thing that people can say is like just negative stuff? There's always a negative connotation, like, so even like a lot of people say that kind of stuff, and they say that kind of stuff jokingly. But why do they do that though? Now, like I said, I don't know if anybody ever seen East Cleveland, but go look up a quote unquote East Cleveland drive-through video on YouTube. That's the ghetto. Like I said, there's a difference between the ghetto, the projects. You know what I'm saying? The projects is called projects because they're actual housing projects that's created by the government to subsidize low-income people. That's why they're called the projects, because they're actually a project of housing and urban development. You know what I'm saying? See, when you got people that swagger jack, they misconstrue words and don't know what the words mean. You know what I'm saying? Like, the projects is not slang. It actually is the projects. It's the projects of housing and urban development. The Metropolitan Housing Authority. It actually is a project of theirs. You know what I'm saying? It's a project to improve housing condition for low-income families. It's an actual project. Like, that's not slang. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is an actual project. That's actually the proper terminology for it. It's a housing project to house people who don't make a lot of money, who are below the federal poverty line. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at the description of it, it'll say that. But we got all these swagger jackers, you know what I'm saying? All these other people that, you know what I'm saying, come in and try to take stuff. People got to lock stuff down. You know what I'm saying? Don't let them talk like that. Maintain your ownership. Maintain your ownership. Shout out to Brianna Campbell. Brianna Campbell says, when are they going to address their drug addicts? I'm going to address those drug addicts as soon as I get a couple $1 million. I'm going to build private prisons and I'm going to put all of them to work when I take over the city council and make it a 25 to life sentence if you get caught with heroin in your system or meth. Then people can get mad at me about the quote unquote low wage prison slavery that I've created. Guess what? Oh, well, like that dude said on The Breakfast Club about the rap music and all the people getting deleted. My kids got to eat somehow. I don't care. Same way y'all don't care. I don't care. I'm gonna show you what somebody not caring about you looks like. This is what I be saying about people got to take aggression lessons. Shout out to Hurricane IQ. Hurricane IQ said, can I be an investor? All you got to do is watch an ad and you already invested. All you got to do is just watch an ad and you've already invested. For his battle with drug addiction. What's the battle with drug addiction? Trying to figure out if he wants cocaine that day or if he wants some flocka. Is that the battle? Oh, which one should I choose today? Should I choose meth out of the pipe or coke? What should I, you know what I'm saying? Should I sniff the cocaine off of this model's belly or should I sniff it off her tits? These are the battles that Hunter Biden goes through. You know what I'm saying? Must be nice. I wish that was the battle that I dealt with every day. You know what I'm saying? That's not a battle. That's what some people would call a party. You know what I'm saying?
Enforcement to track down gang members, mostly due to the fact that there's very little criminal records, and secondly, the strained relationship between Venezuela's government and the United States government, which does not allow for much exchange of information. And coming up at 6 p.m., we'll be telling you how the Tren de Aragua operates and what distinguishes them from MS-13. For now, this is Oriana Botaro for KTSM 9 News.